The journey through Dante's 9 circles of hell. Dante's Inferno is the first part of his 3-part epic poem, The Divine Comedy, written in the 14th century and considered one of the world's great works of literature. Inferno is followed by Purgatorio and Paradiso. Those approaching Inferno for the first time might benefit from a brief structural description. This is Dante's journey through the 9 circles of hell, guided by the poet Virgil. At the beginning of the story, a woman, Beatrice, calls for an angel to bring Virgil to guide Dante on his journey so that no harm will befall him. The 9 circles of hell, as depicted in Dante's Inferno, represent a gradual descent into increasing levels of sin and punishment, from the first circle, limbo, to the 9th circle, which is reserved for the worst sinners. Each level represents various types of moral wrongdoing and the corresponding punishment. In the book, limbo is where those who never knew Christ exist. Dante encounters several historical figures, including Ovid, Homer, Socrates, Aristotle, Julius Caesar, and more in this circle. In the second circle, a stormy and dark realm, Dante encounters Achilles, Paris, Tristan, Cleopatra, and Dido, among others. The third circle is reserved for those who overindulge. Dante encounters ordinary people here, not characters from epic poems or gods from mythology. The author Boccaccio took one of these characters, Ciacco, and incorporated him into his 14th century collection of tales called the Decameron. Dante encounters more ordinary people in the 4th circle, but also the guardian of the circle, Pluto, the mythological king of the underworld. This circle is reserved for people who hoarded or squandered their money, but Dante and Virgil do not directly interact with any of its inhabitants. This is the first time they pass through a circle without speaking to anyone, a commentary on Dante's opinion of greed as a higher sin. Dante and Virgil are threatened by the Furies when they try to enter through the walls of Dis, Satan. This is a further progression in Dante's evaluation of the nature of sin. He also begins to question himself and his own life, realizing his actions and nature could lead him to this permanent torture. Representing the rejection of religious and political norms, the 6th circle leads Dante to Farinata degli Uberti, a military leader and aristocrat who tried to win the Italian throne and was convicted posthumously of heresy in 1283. Dante also meets Epicurus, Pope Anastasius II, and Emperor Frederick II. This is the first circle to be further segmented into subcircles or rings. There are 3 of them, the outer, middle, and inner rings, housing different types of violent criminals. The first are those who were violent against people and property, such as Attila the Hun. Centaurs guard this outer ring and shoot its inhabitants with arrows. The middle ring consists of those who commit violence against themselves, such as suicide. These sinners are perpetually eaten by harpies. Finally, the inner ring is made up of blasphemers, or those who are violent against God and nature. One of these sinners is Brunetto Latini, a sodomite who was Dante's mentor. Dante speaks kindly to him. The usurers are also here, as are those who blaspheme not just against God but also the gods, such as Capaneus, who blasphemed against Zeus. This circle is distinguished from its predecessors by being made up of those who consciously and willingly commit fraud. Within the 8th circle is another called the Malabolge, evil pockets, which houses 10 separate bolges, ditches. These ditches house different types of people who committed fraud: panderers, seducers, flatterers, simoniacs, those who sell ecclesiastical preferment, sorcerers, barrators, corrupt politicians, schismatics, those who separate religions to form new ones, and alchemists, among others. Each bolgia is guarded by different demons, and the inhabitants suffer different punishments, such as the simoniacs, who stand headfirst in stone bowls and endure flames upon their feet. Each bolgia is guarded by different demons, and the inhabitants suffer different punishments, such as the simoniacs, who stand headfirst in stone bowls and endure flames upon their feet. Each bolgia is guarded by different demons, and the inhabitants suffer different punishments, such as the simoniacs, who stand headfirst in stone bowls and endure flames upon their feet. The 9th circle, the deepest, is where Satan resides. As with the last 2 circles, this one is further divided into 4 rounds. The first is Cana, named after the biblical Cain, who murdered his brother. This round is for traitors to family. The third is Ptolemia for Ptolemy, son of Abubus, who is known for inviting Simon Maccabeus and his sons to dinner and then murdering them. This round is for hosts who betray their guests. They are punished more harshly because of the belief that having guests means entering into a voluntary relationship, and betraying a relationship willingly entered is more despicable than betraying a relationship born into. The fourth round is Judaica, after Judas Iscariot, who betrayed Jesus Christ. This round is reserved for traitors to their lords, benefactors, or masters. As in the previous circle, the subdivisions each have their own demons and punishments. After making their way through all 9 circles of hell, Dante and Virgil reach the center of hell. Here they meet Satan, who is described as a 3-headed beast. Each mouth is busy eating a specific person. The left mouth is eating Brutus, the right is eating Cassius, and the center mouth is eating Judas Iscariot. Brutus and Cassius betrayed and caused the murder of Julius Caesar, while Judas did the same to Christ. These are the ultimate sinners in Dante's opinion, as they consciously committed acts of treachery against their lords, who were appointed by God.